Welcome to Talesfromworld, where magic comes to life in every tale. Once upon a time, in the vast, starry expanse of the universe, there was a small and curious prince who lived on a tiny planet scarcely bigger than a house. This little planet, known as Asteroid B-612, was so small that the prince could walk across it in just a few strides. Yet it was incredibly beautiful, with 3 volcanoes, one of which was extinct, and a variety of stunning flowers. Among these flowers, there was a single rose. This rose was unlike any other. She was proud, demanding, and very beautiful. The little prince loved his rose dearly and cared for her every need. He watered her, protected her from caterpillars, and shielded her with a glass dome at night. Despite his love, the rose's vanity and demands left the little prince feeling sad and confused. He couldn't understand why she acted the way she did. Driven by a sense of loneliness and a desire to understand what love truly is, the little prince decided to leave his tiny planet and explore the universe. His travels brought him to several other planets, each inhabited by a single adult. But these adults were very odd indeed. On the first planet, he met a king who ruled over nothing but still insisted on giving orders. The king commanded the sun to set at sunset and was proud of his reasonable decrees. The little prince found this puzzling and soon moved on to the next planet. There, he encountered a vain man who craved admiration. The man wanted everyone he met to acknowledge how wonderful he was. The little prince clapped his hands to please the man but soon realized that vanity left no room for genuine friendship, so he continued his journey. The third planet was home to a drunkard who drank to forget his shame. The prince found this cycle of drinking and shame very sad and pointless. He wished he could help the drunkard but knew he couldn't, so he moved on to the fourth planet. On the fourth planet, he met a businessman who was obsessed with counting stars. The businessman claimed to own the stars because he counted them, just as he owned other things like houses and cars. The little prince thought this was ridiculous, as the stars could not be owned and should be admired for their beauty. The fifth planet was very small, inhabited by a lamplighter who faithfully lit a lamp every minute. The planet's rapid rotation meant the lamplighter never had a moment's rest. The little prince admired the lamplighter's dedication but knew he couldn't stay on such a busy planet. On the sixth planet, he found a geographer who recorded information about places he had never visited. The geographer relied on explorers to bring him knowledge, but he himself never left his desk. The little prince realized that the geographer's maps were filled with empty, meaningless information since they lacked the beauty and experiences of the places they depicted. Finally, the little prince arrived on Earth. He landed in the middle of a vast desert and, after wandering for some time, he came across a beautiful garden filled with roses. He was dismayed to see that his rose was not unique as he had believed. She was just one of many. This realization made him feel sad and lost. While wandering, the little prince met a wise fox. The fox asked the little prince to tame him, explaining that taming meant forming a bond, making each other special and unique. The little prince and the fox spent time together, and through this process, the little prince learned that his rose was indeed unique to him because he had cared for her and formed a special bond with her. The fox imparted a valuable lesson: it is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. With this newfound wisdom, the little prince understood the true meaning of love and responsibility. He realized that his rose was special because of the time and effort he had invested in her. Determined to return to his rose, the little prince sought a way back to his asteroid. The little prince met a pilot whose plane had crashed in the desert. The pilot was repairing his plane when the little prince appeared and began to tell his story. As the days passed, the pilot grew fond of the little prince and learned much from him about love, responsibility, and the simple joys of life. On the 8th day, the pilot and the little prince found a well, and the pilot was able to quench his thirst. However, the little prince had decided it was time to return to his rose. He found a snake who promised to help him return to his asteroid. The little prince explained to the pilot that his body was too heavy to carry back to his planet, and the snake's bite would free him. On a quiet night in the desert, the little prince said his goodbyes to the pilot. He allowed the snake to bite him, and his body fell to the ground. The next morning, the pilot found no trace of the little prince's body and realized that the little prince had returned to his asteroid and his beloved rose. Years later, the pilot still looks up at the stars and remembers his friend. He often wonders if the little prince made it back to his rose and if they are happy together. The pilot encourages anyone who sees the little prince to immediately contact him, hoping that his friend is safe and content. And so, dear listener, if you ever find yourself gazing up at the stars, remember the little prince and think of how love and friendship are the true treasures that light up our world. If you ever hear a laugh that echoes through the starry night, imagine it's the little prince, watching over his beloved rose, somewhere out there on his tiny planet. And they all lived peacefully among the stars, carrying with them the lessons of the heart they had learned from a very special little prince. Good night, and let the stars bring you dreams of distant planets and enchanted encounters. And remember, kids, the little prince asked me to tell you to subscribe to our channel, Tales from World, so we can explore more magical stories together.